Welcome to The Best of Intentions, a podcast from Intention Films and Media, hosted by writer, director, former film commissioner, and novelist Deborah Markowitz. So join us as we talk about all things creative.
Hi, I'm Debbie Markowitz with the Best of Intentions podcast, and we're here at Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. We're so happy to be here. First, I have to basically tell you that my film is out, Waitlist, A Lover's Story. It's on Prime Video. Please go on over and watch it and give us a review, because that's how indie filmmakers kind of move up the ladder. People have to see their film. So if you like romances, it's a really, really kind of cool film. Stars Beck Fordyce and Travis Grant, and also has appearances by Robert Clohessy from Blue Bloods, Abigail Hawk from Blue Bloods, has a cameo, Kim Director from The Deuces in it. We've also got Lucas Hassel from The Blacklist, so there's a lot of really cool supporting names in the background, but it's a fun film, and I hope you'll give it a watch. I run across a lot of really amazing people in these film shoots, and there's people that you just totally vibe with, and they're very helpful, and they're great to be on set with. And so I never prepare anything. I just bring in somebody that I like to talk to, and that's how these podcasts happen. So my guest today, and I'm very excited to welcome the multi-talented in many different areas, Jennifer Feldman. Is that what we like to be known by?
Yeah, it's great. It's my official doctor, non-fake, let's have a real conversation without the pretenses name. No foundation on the face. You're getting the real deal.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, when I first met you, we were doing Waitlist, and I needed somebody to do a cameo as Beck Fordyce's adopted son's fiance.
Yes.
And so E.J. Acosta, who plays Danny, he said, well, what about Jen Feldy? I'm like, I have no idea who that was. And so he showed me a picture. I'm like, she's gorgeous. I said, yes, let's do this.
Love
me
EJ.
Thinking you're 20 years younger than you are. Because I'm like, wait, what?
Right.
But it was perfect. It works. And after we did that, how did we get involved again? Do you remember? Did I need makeup for somebody?
I got there, and I remember sitting there. It was a quick scene, and you're very efficient. Bravo, love efficiency. And I was like, how old do you think I am? So that was really funny, because I'm turning 42 in September. But I was playing, like, I don't know, a 23-year-old, 25?
Like 23, 26,
something.
yeah.
So anyway, but I don't know. I think, in this industry, you get referred a lot, I'm sure, and vice versa. So names get thrown around. So someone must have told you to hire me for makeup, and I guess for acting. So we went back and forth for one makeup day. I don't think that went through. And then eventually one of the days you asked me for makeup worked.
I needed special effects for Travis's hand, if I remember correctly.
I really don't know, because I was getting ready, and I was like, how do we even meet? I don't know. I can't tell you the origin story, but I do know at some point around Christmas time, we had a long 2-hour Zoom call. Mm-hmm. And I think I spent 16 hours preparing From the Embers. That's the now working title. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wardrobe and props and making lists and color coding and all that. So.
I think that was it. We had done a film which is now in editing called From the Embers, which is the feature version of our short Brimstone. And I think I needed an effect for Travis's character's hand, because he was supposed to punch somebody. And so I think I spoke to you about that, and I was telling you how kind of overwhelmed I was at the moment, because we had a production designer, but for some reason we had a miscommunication, and so she thought I didn't need her, so she took another job. Yes. And I was telling you, and you said, well, what can I do to help? Yeah. And I said, well, I need help with props, I need help with whatever. And you just jumped in.
Yes.
And I so appreciated that. You helped with wardrobe, you helped with props, you helped with production design and makeup. And, you and I know Zach Walker jumped in and started doing extra stuff. I said, because we're doing all of this ourselves. And it's so low budget, but it doesn't look low budget.
No.
But it's so much work.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God.
Yeah. So you jumped in and did all these extra things, which was so amazing to me. So.
And the first time you came to my house, I had my wisdom teeth taken out, I think less than 48 hours prior. So I had 4 holes in my head and was put to sleep for the first time in my life and crying in the doctor's office, hysterically crying, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. So, and construction had started, I think they're on the same day, about 12 to 15 feet from my head. So you came over and I had 4 holes that were just bleeding out of my head. He's like, hello, hello. Okay, we could start this movie.
Oh, man. But we did it. We got it done. And we even ended up using the house next door to your house because it had a construction site.
Oh, yeah.
So that actually worked out perfect. We had... the lead character had to go to work, and he was just somebody who was just loved his job, was obsessed with it, and he was in construction.
Yes.
And we're like, we got to find a house that's under construction. You're like, the people next door.
Yeah.
And we
Justin Robalata. I'm going to say
Justin.
How do I say his freaking name?
I can't remember it either.
Why do I forget? I feel so bad.
Levine.
Yes,
it's
his wife. It's his wife, because I went to his wedding. So that's just a weird coincidence.
And you didn't know that till he walked on set?
No, I hadn't seen him since his wedding.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, well, how's the marriage going? You have 2 kids now. Welcome to my house. Okay. Yeah.
But this community is really... as big as it is, it's also very small.
Yeah.
You know, so you end up in the same circles with people. But there's so many things that you do. So what did you start with? Did you start with hair and makeup or effects or acting?
I mean, when I was a baby, someone from Gerber discovered me or something. But 6th grade, I had a modeling agent. I did some math modeling, but I wanted to get A+, and I went to Jericho High School, and they tell you have to get A+, and you have to be an honor society, and you have to play tennis. So I couldn't go to the city back then and do the go-sees. This is back in the day we didn't have the self-tapes. Self-tapes weren't a thing, you know. So you had to do the go-see and the cattle calls and wait online, you know. It was like back Cindy Crawford time. So then I dropped out. And then I became I became a workout instructor because I had to pee in DC. Walked into the gym. They said, you know more than me. You should work here. I ended up teaching workout classes. Wow. Ended up in all these viral music videos with one of my college friends who's a big-time producer. 8112 Studios. Big time stuff. And, you know, doing Fox 5 workout presentations. So that's, you know, when you're hungover, because I used to drink in my 20s, and taking, you know, workout supplements and 5 milligrams of Adderall and coffee and doing workout classes, probably still drunk from the night before, is very performative, and it was very comedic. And you have to also teach, because I would get very technical into the teaching, and I didn't want anyone to hurt themselves. So, yeah, that led to music videos, which led to more modeling, which led to more acting, which led to, I taught nutrition. This is very long. I'm going to end soon, I promise. I had to drop out of the nutrition thing because Natural Cures are hacked. My website was hacked and taken down, and some people I know that taught nutrition had things hacked, and it can get kind of violent when you're teaching natural cures. So I said, no, thank you, in 2016. That's a big Pandora's box of scary stuff and censorship and websites destroyed and people dying. So I said, everyone thinks I'm really young. This media thing's working out. Let's go to cosmetology school and learn proper hair and makeup. So when I do my own films, I'll know the rule. Never meant to be like a full-time makeup artist. Just like, you know, something to know. Like sound. Like you got to know sound. You got to know makeup. That's it. So I knew it. And then, you know, people ask you, just like the workout classes. So, you know, and then radio and...
the hair and makeup thing, the cool thing about that is... on a lot of our film sets, almost everybody on our film set is a swing, which means they don't just do one thing, but if they have to do something else, they know how to do it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, one cool thing is if you have somebody who's a hair and makeup artist in your film, it's like, I'll do my own hair and makeup. And that matters when you're an independent filmmaker and you have next to no money. But like our gaffers also can step in and be an AC if they need to. We had Don Broccolo, who was jumped in on one of our films doing sound because the sound guy got sick for 3 days. So Dom will do anything to help.
He's
Zach
amazing.
will do anything to help. Jack will do anything to help. Jack Kelly. I mean, they're all amazing. So it's great to have them on
Multi-talented
your
guys.
crew, and you as well, because you'll
thank
always
you,
do
yeah.
something to help.
Yeah,
so
I like to.
no matter what happens, one person gets sick, and if your crew is 7 or 8 people, that's huge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's great to move people around, and that really helps out. Well, you wrote a book too, didn't you?
I wrote a health guidebook. I don't really talk about it, but you asked. I'll talk about it and I'll share it more. And but again, with the health thing, I just put that whole thing aside. I said, you guys think I'm dumb? You think I'm 20 something? Let's just go with it. And when I start looking older, I'll go back to it. But yeah, the health book, I would go so far as to say it saved a few lives, and it's helps. And there's a couple of people it probably didn't help at all, of course, and helped many people. I would say at least I would say hundreds. So it was mostly moods, how to naturally regulate your moods, because all these people would come to me, Adderall, or back in our day, I'm sure you remember the days of phentermine and Xenadrin, or bodybuilding people took all these stimulants. They still do, sort of, but it was a different time. So I said, let's write this guidebook where people can be their most fit self without having to take all these, fen and getting heart attacks. And now it's Ozempic. So now we're in a different time where people don't talk about taking speed for weight loss. It's now the GLP-1s. But yeah, the book, it started as like a fat loss, weight loss, vanity thing. And then I started working with cancer patients and people with MS and people with autoimmune, and it became a whole health thing. And really simply put, to answer the question, I'll take all day here because it's 145 pages. With each person I would treat since 2009, and I pretty much ended this around 2018. Let's say you came to me and you said, I'm tired, I have cellulite, I want to get better abs, I want to lift my butt. I had my first client had botched lipo, and I fixed her botched lipo, and I got all these clients because I lifted her butt. And cause don't ever get lipo under your butt, because then you have nothing for it to fall on, and it falls. So let's say you came to me with all these issues, and I have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, and I'm tired, and I have no sex drive, and I have pimples. Okay, that's like a classic client back in the day. I had all these protocol to fix it. So that became the book. And each person, let's say, I don't know, I'm tired in the morning, or I'm constipated. I go, okay, this client needs a constipation ritual. So that became in the book. So with each person that asks for something, I say, okay. And same with filmmaking. Each person that asks you how to do something, you figure it out, you write the protocol, and you put it in the book.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I learned to do everything in filmmaking. I started out because the county executive at the time, I was working for the county, sent somebody over to me, a director, because he needed a couple of names and he knew that I knew the celebrities. And so I usually did not read people's scripts, but because the county executive sent them, I had to do that. So I read his script, and it was pretty good. And I said, but you got the wrong actors for this. And I explained why. And he goes, well, who do you recommend? And so I recommended a few other actors I knew. He goes, you think you can get them? I said, I think we can try. So after casting a few names for him, he said to me, would you be my casting director?
Right.
And I said, well, I never did it before, but I know how to ask questions. I know how to do stuff.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I started doing. I started, looking at procedures. I went on the casting sites. I went through a ton of reels, and I also run the Long Island International Film Expo. And at the time, I was still watching films, so I'd always notice when I saw an actor I really liked, and I'd make note of it. So, hey, I saw this guy in this film or this woman in this film, and then it helped me to cast it. And he ended up making me a producer.
Right.
And I had to go through the county and make sure I could do it. I had to do it on my own time, but I had to make sure I could do it legally. And so I did that, and I was never going to do it again because it was so much work. But I took off of work for a week. I took my vacation days, and I had the best time on set.
Oh.
And I just remember going to work that Monday after having the week off on this very intensive, long, exhilarating, scary, deep, dark set. And I remember walking to my office and putting my hand on the door and just feeling like the life seep out of my body.
Oh, no.
Because that was so great. And I like my job. I'm really lucky that I had a 9-to-5 that for 90% of the time I loved. And then the other 10, maybe 15, you're dealing with politics and all this other nonsense I hated.
Lucky.
But so I realized it was a lot of work, though, working full time and then doing that at night and on weekends, that it really wasn't my thing. But then I get a email from Kathy Cato, who runs the Queensville Film Festival, saying, I have a feature director who needs a casting director and a producer. And I'm like, I said, all right, well, out of respect for you, I'll read the script, but I'm not making any promises. I'm not doing this again. And I was about 10 pages into it. And I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever read. I'm like, fine. So then I ended up casting and producing a feature.
Wow, okay.
And then it was after that where I finally said, first of all, my phone started ringing off the hook because everybody wanted me to be their CD. And I'm like, I can't. I don't have time to do this all, but I wanted to do one short film, The Last Taxi Driver, which should be going up on our YouTube channel soon. I wanted to do that to see what made directors crazy.
To see what made directors crazy.
And I learned it because everything is on your shoulders.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Have you directed yet?
I mean, honestly, not on your sets. I try to stay out of the way.
Well,
and Nikki
stuff,
Silva was on her set last night. I dressed up with the fake boobs and the blonde wig and acting mode, but I've been behind the scenes mode. So I'll dress like in a ski suit and try to just be invisible. But I'm on a lot of sets. I would say I'm butting in and I'm directing. I'm directing myself. I'm directing other people. Yeah, it happens a lot, but officially, no. Officially, no. I would only direct my own things. I don't think I'd ever want to direct someone else's. You never know. But, no, I don't think I'd want to direct someone else's. But speaking of exhausting, the last director at my house, he posted this so I can say it. He collapsed. It's so exhausting that we did 9 days at my house. I mean, I wasn't directing his shots, but I'm doing a little bit of everything. Effects, maybe you should do it like this, maybe you should wear your shirt like this. I mean, I'm butting into every single thing, and for better or
But
for
that's
worse.
like a production design kind of thing, though.
Yeah, even lines, though, like for other things, I'll start doing that. It depends on who I'm working with, because sometimes I know they need that, and they ask me, and they say, please give me your feedback, and direct. And then sometimes I'm like, you got this. Like Brandon Bassam, I didn't help him direct the shots really, except when I'm doing makeup, because I just like his instincts, and I don't want to share my instincts. Like you do you. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's a fine line. Because you can be on set, and it maybe one person might go, "What about?" And if the person doesn't do it all the time, then sometimes that's the right thing. But then you get the person. Sometimes it's like, "We'll do this," and you have to turn around and go, "Stop."
Yeah.
Because now you're rewriting your redirect. Please don't do that.
Exactly.
And I've had to explain to a couple of people, not most get it, but I've had to say to one person, just stop directing.
Yeah.
Stop. Yeah, but isn't it, and she basically said, but isn't it for the better of the film? I said, I'm the director. These people hired me because they want my vision of this. Right. And if you're jumping in before I can even decide, it's not going to go well. And it was hard to... It's hard to have to do that to people, but I will say that, again, 90%, I just keep throwing percentages out there, but the big majority know that, and they don't do that, so that's really fine. But
well, I will tell you one thing where I did direct on set, and the director hated it, but I should have, and he should have listened to me, as many should have. I was on this set, stupid thing, I'm not going to even mention the name of it, but they had a choreographer from Florida choreographing a sword battle with actual swords, really sharp swords, which you should have prop swords on set.
Yes.
So someone actually got hurt on that set because they had really sharp swords. And, I wasn't really directing. I'm trying to just be the actor, right? So we're doing something, and I forget what I said or did, but there was something I saw. So I made a suggestion. Never met these people. I knew him for like an hour or something. He goes, "You're the actor." Well, guess what? Someone got hurt. I saw the footage. It sucked. And you should have listened to me. Okay? So sometimes you should listen to your actors, and that's the only time that anyone ever said, "You're the actor," with a really nasty attitude. And it's like, you know what? Maybe I should be the director. Okay?
See, now John will agree with you, because John's actually done sword fighting and heavy steel and whatever, and he's also taught it and choreographed things. Very cool. And he will always say the only time you should speak up if the director is doing something is safety. Safety always first. That's not even a question. If there's a danger zone, it's got to be brought to would you say the director's attention or the AD's attention? Probably the AD's attention, right?
I would go to the first AD.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
To shut it down.
Right. If it's dangerous, you have to be careful. And I know a film that we were on. I forget what. I think I was the CD and John was the. I think he was the production designer.
Okay.
And one of the producers. And there was a scene in this one short film where one character had to push the other character against the wall, and and it was a knife scene, but the director hadn't rehearsed it or anything, and one of the actors looked to John and said,
God.
"What do I do?" He goes, "I'll take care of it." But you can't just pull knives on people.
No. No.
I know. So John had
it
to
happens.
fix
This
that.
is a sword.
Yeah,
It's a sword and claws.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a complicated scene, which was really cool. And if they shot it well and listened to me, maybe I would have posted it. But whatever.
Yeah, but safety always has to come first. That's not even a question.
Yeah.
I mean, we always have insurance and whatever, but I mean, we're doing this for, 14, 15 years making movies, and we've never even had, I don't want to jinx myself, but we've never had a problem. We're very, very careful because obviously you don't want anybody to get hurt. You don't want to have any problems. You don't want to get sued. You don't want to get all kinds of things, and you want to take care of your people.
Yeah.
You don't want people to ever have to be afraid to be on your set.
Right.
And one reason I know I get some of the names that I get that they don't even have to see the script before they say yes, because they know I'm not going to make them look bad. They know I'm not going to have them there for 20 hours. They know, there's a whole bunch of things I'm not going to make them do.
Yes.
And if there's an intimate scene, we're going to sit down and talk about it. What are you comfortable with?
Right.
What do you, and some are like, I'll do this, this, and this, but not that. And some are like, you don't want to do anything. And some will be like, what do you need?
Right.
How naked do I have to be? Which I don't want nudity in my films, but you need to gauge people's comfort.
Yeah.
Because it all is an endeavor where you all have to contribute really greatly when your crews are that small, especially. So
no, you were great with that because there was a lot of intimate scenes, and from the Embers, I mean, they're married. They get married at some point, so they have to get really close. And for me, I'm actually I'm people maybe wouldn't expect it. I feel like I'm perceived opposite of how I am a lot, but it's weird for me. I've gotten out and basically half-assed every single kissing scene I've ever done, ever, because I'm weird with that.
You have to let your director know.
So
what
I
you're
would
comfortable
want
with.
someone to be a little careful, just because, like, I don't know, me hugging someone I don't know and pretending to be their wife on a real non-comical level is like kind of difficult. And kissing them, oh God, no. I would probably be like, can we get around this? Can I just put my head in their shoulder like I've done many times? So yeah, you gotta be sensitive to that and tune in like a psychic, as you are, to your actor and know how far can I push them.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, it's what your actors are comfortable with, obviously, because you never want anybody to not be comfortable with it. And depending on the crew. I mean, we when we shoot Couple of Guys, usually John is our director of photography, but Couple of Guys, which you're on as hair and makeup, and you're going to help do some scripty work. Mark did my first 3 films. He shot my first 3 films, and then John shot most of them after that, except for the couple that he was in. Then we had to have other DPs. But, when I work with Mark, because he's so freaking talented and he's so good at what he does, and he totally gets what I want all the time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like we'd sit down and like for the movie Leaving, I had an idea of a palette in my mind, and we sat down and he went, and I see blues and I see this and this. I'm like, yes. It's like he totally gets my writing and he knows what I want. And he has an amazing way of conveying that. But sometimes he'll want to try something that I hadn't really planned, and he said, hey, can we? And I'll think about it. I'm like, all right, because I trust him enough to know that's going to look amazing, So it really is. Even though you're the director and you have to call the shots per se, your crew is essential. Everybody helping is essential. So, it's when it says it's a Deborah Markowitz film, it's always supposedly the director, but it's really all of your film because it couldn't look good if you didn't have these other people.
True.
So people, and I think what's really essential is whoever you bring on cares about the project.
Yeah. Cares, and also I would say has telepathy, ideally, because the best people I've worked with, I mean, I had this friend, Lara Stromberg. She was in my dream the other day. I haven't seen her in like 10 years, but she'll show up in my dreams randomly, and her and a couple dozen other people, but I'd say a few, we could just look. I know exactly what she's thinking. She knows what I'm thinking, and you and I have done this through text a lot and on set. but through text many times where I'm thinking something really specific, like a projector light. I bought all these projectors. I told a friend I was going to send him videos of projector lights. You send me a picture of a projector light on the ceiling. I said, I have the same light on my ceiling right now. So there's a lot of specific coincidences and things where I'm thinking this, you'll text it to me. The exact same thought, worry, concern. So I guess my question to you, I know you're hosting this, but I'll ask you one question.
Absolutely.
Telepathy, because your show is about magic, it said. So do you think that it's best to have telepathy with the people you're working with?
Yeah, I mean, it is obviously, like when I talk about like Mark Ryu, who again is just this amazing DP, he gets what I want. And I don't know if you've just worked with people enough that they know what you want. Like, we're a really well-oiled machine. There's at this point, the crew we have right now, there's no weak links. They're all friggin' amazing. And they're all swings, and they're all willing to help, and they're all... so we will almost get done every day early because nobody almost has to tell anybody what to do. It's just like they're on it, which is pretty amazing. But if you can have telepathy with somebody, I mean, because... you can have the picture in your mind, and then how are you going to achieve that?
Right.
So if somebody can know what you want, it just makes it that much easier. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Oh, no, because a script it doesn't exist. Making a movie is you're making something that doesn't exist. So if you can picture that final outcome and be in that same visionary room with you, I don't, there's people who do the remote viewing. Like, if we could both remote view what the scene's going to be and then reverse engineer and direct that's kind of what I do. Yeah. So if everyone's on that same page, the worst is when they're on the opposite page.
Oh yeah, you can't be on the opposite page. I mean, you can disagree with somebody, and know that the director still has to have what they want, and that doesn't that's not necessarily bad unless it's all the time. Then you're not on the same movie. I mean, we had a movie that was a 72-hour challenge, one of my favorite movies, not Waitlist, but The Waiting Room. And somebody brought me in as director, and she wanted a few actor friends on it, and I wanted a couple of actor friends on it. And I had a composer who wanted to work with me forever. And there was one woman who was raising the movie, the producer, but still, the money was not a lot. And we had 72 hours to complete the entire film. So there was this one composer who had been wanting to work with me. He'd done a lot of movies before. He started working on the score before we shot the movie, and I never heard it. And then as soon as we shoot it, Mark Ryu was editing that. Actually, he did 4 films with me. But so he was editing that, and the composer sends along the score, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, what on earth? I'm so confused because it was so not the movie. Oh, no. So I called Mark. Now understand, 72 hours, so I'm waiting up to see the next pass. Yeah. So I'm up at 3 a.m. so I can approve it for the next step of the game. And I said, Mark, what do we do about this? And he goes, I can't even listen to this. So I and it's not that the guy was a bad composer, but he wasn't getting what the movie was. And his version, it was a very spiritual movie, but in his mind, it was almost a horror film. Which I know, it was crazy.
So you wanted more peaceful and calm.
Oh, yeah.
And he was giving you like, yeah.
I mean, it was so not
That's funny.
Yeah. And then he said to me after, I mean, it's very hard to fire somebody you're not paying.
Oh, no.
And first you didn't. He goes, you didn't give it a chance. And then he admitted to me later that I wrote this before I even saw the movie. So so it didn't really fit. But so I had to call, didn't call, but I sent an email to a friend in Italy who had scored a couple of films for me. And I'm like, Eros, I need a score for this, but I only have this amount of money, and I have to have it by the morning. And he wrote back and said, and because the time difference, he goes, yeah, no problem. What? And by the morning, I had the perfect score for it.
I mean, that's magic.
Yeah, that was magic. Yeah.
He made it?
Yeah, he's so quick. Wow. Depending on how much work, how backlogged he is. I've gotten scores like a day later, 2 days later, 3, which are fast. Magnificent. Wow. And then when you find those people that get what you want.
Oh, yeah.
You want to hold on to them.
No, there's one guy, I saw him on the internet years ago. Jacob the Lifetarian, shout out. He's maybe one of the weirdest guy I've ever met. And I'm sure some people have said the same about him. He even has a satirical fake book based on one of his characters, Jacob the Lifetarian. It's like a fake health book. So I'm like, wait, I have a health book. He's got a satire fake book. I'm making a fake man success network now, fast forward 10 years later. But we're always on the same page of wacky out there. No one's doing what he's doing. I mean, he's out of his mind, and he makes custom music. He does animation. He understands my vision. We both went to the town of Oyster Bay, and we didn't get kicked out. We almost got kicked out, and he did my vow renewal with my blow-up doll wife, and he was fantastic. But he's on the same page as me. I don't know who else is. I mean, I could maybe have 3 other people that can maybe do what he does. Yeah. So it's like when you find these people, it's like, where are you? Who made you?
I know. I mean, one of the things I'm really lucky about is when I'm writing, a lot of my ideas, some come from dreams, and a lot of them come from when we walk the dog in the morning, John and I. Huh. And so we'll start talking about something, and I'll probably do the bulk of the writing, not on his, because he writes too. He writes amazing stuff. Mm-hmm. But on the bulk of my writing, I'll be stuck somewhere, and John will go, well, how about? And I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that happens a lot with you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Or the end of Waitlist, and I don't want to give the very last thing that happens. You weren't there that day. Okay. But the very last thing that happens in Waitlist, I wasn't happy with how the ending was going. I'm like, yeah, it's just not there. It's there, but it's not there. And John recommended something, and we all went like, and then the last thing that happens, John came up with it, and it's perfect.
Oh,
it's just perfect.
Great. So you should stay married then.
Yeah. So
well, I mean, come on, your husband has to be useful, or else what's the point? Sorry.
Well, but you don't have to be. I mean, when I was dating, I would not date people in the industry. Yeah. And at that point, he was out of the industry, and I dragged him back in. But I wouldn't have pulled anyone in to help me with that. Okay. But now being there, it's
what would you do without him? Right?
I don't know.
I don't know how any of your films would have gotten done. I mean, you do a lot. I'm not saying you don't, but like. He does everything. Sound, the cameras, carrying stuff, making sure we're on time. I mean, coming up with endings, I'm sure casting, making sure I don't talk through a shot, whatever. Et cetera, et cetera.
I called John as my Swiss Army knife filmmaker.
Yeah, everything.
Because wherever I need to put him, he if it's the thing he wrote, if he's going to act in it, then I'll direct it. I'm really trying to get him to direct something, but he doesn't want to.
Direct something?
I want him to direct something. If he's not in it, I think he should direct it. But
What kind of thing? Storyline.
Well,
vibe?
It depends. Like he wrote a script called Trailer Park Afterlife, which has won a lot of awards. And then the question is, we have these 2 actors we would consider for The Gravedigger, but part of me thinks it should be John. But if it's not John, I think John should direct it. Okay. But John doesn't want to direct it. John would rather do the camera and whatever. Right. So, I mean, on set, I'm a writer and director. Yeah, I can do casting. Other than that, I'm almost useless on set. But John does everything.
A lot of the technicals.
Yeah.
You could just do everything. You technically would take 20 times or 200 times as long, maybe, because Dom does a lot, Zach Walker. But you could just do a 2-man crew if you needed to. We've done that. Just you 2.
I wouldn't recommend
I'm not trying to take anyone's job away, but
when we did our first feature, The Only Woman in the World, we didn't have the money to do it, but I had already done so many shorts, our own and ones that people had hired me for, and I said, it's really time that I do a feature. Right, so I wrote the script, and we were trying to figure out how to do it, and so we decided we would train our crew. So we would train everybody so that they would have this. We ended up giving like a small stipend, but for the most part, they worked for free. And then we gave them the skill that some of them still use to this day. And there was one day in particular, and the actors even wanted to work. We did it because the lead actors wanted to do it, saying it's very hard to get lead roles. We'll work for free as long as you'll work with our schedules. Okay. Which means it took us 6.5 months to film it. Yeah. But there was one day where there were the 2 actors, and then there was me and John. And John did everything. He had the sound set up. He shot it. We did all the pre-production work. And I wouldn't recommend it.
I've done
both. But it can be done.
I like both. Yeah. There's a lot of. It's kind of nice when you work with Swiss Army knives and they do like the Airwaves film, which may or may not be in the festival. We'll say it's a guy's second film and it's his first. I thought it was going to be 10 pages, so I said, sure, write whatever, we'll shoot it. it was like 40 pages, and I had to put on hold to do your films. I said, I can't do both. I can't act and do 16 hours to plan one shoot day. I can't. So we put on hold in my head, whatever. But it was pretty cool working with him and a few other people, like just one person. And he was able to do the visuals, and he's really in the audio, and it would have been good to have one or two PAs. Yeah. AKA slaves. Sorry, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. And I will call myself a slave. So I'm not whatever. But it pros and cons to working with big teams and small teams.
Yeah. I mean, I like. I think our main crew is usually about 8 people. We can do it with less.
Perfect.
It depends where are we moving, how much equipment do we have to. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes along with it. You can tell. I mean, I've done films for $1,500 a day, and I've done films for $30,000 a day. And the $30,000 one's just so much easier. You can get names. You have other people doing the paperwork. You have, and it's I walk onto set and I walk away with a nice paycheck, and it's lovely. And that film one of them that I did that way, John wasn't even on it. And then there's been films John's been on that I haven't been on. Whether he's done sound or he shot it or whatever. So while we work together most of the time, we don't always. We're hired separately. Like when we were doing Welcome to Bellevue, which is a pilot that I directed, and I just love doing that. It took us, I think, 2 years to do it because they kept raising money to do another day or two and another day or two, but we got it done. And, but it got to the point where you did it so long ago, you're trying to remember, what the heck did we do already? Yeah. But John started out as the AD, but then because it was taking so long, I think you jumped into Waitlist maybe, or Brimstone, or From the Embers. I don't know. Anyway, he jumped onto another film, and it's like you can't AD 2 films. You can't AD 2 features at the same time. You'll go crazy.
Yeah.
So he stepped down and did sound, and then we moved the position along because you want to do your best you can, for every job. But you can do it. It's just I wouldn't tell anybody not to do it, especially if you're very new at it. But I kind of feel like at this point we've done so much stuff that I don't want to go back in quality.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah. But it's sometimes cool if you're doing something experimental, something like that.
We're talking about that.
But
we're
with
talking
a big cast, couple of guys. No, you don't want
a couple of guys.
Person.
No, that's probably one of the bigger things that we've personally done. That's one of the most expensive of our own. But somebody came to me with a short film that he wants me to direct. And I read it, and I'm like, my favorite line is, can I take a crack at this? And then I usually clean it up a little bit and whatever. And he doesn't have any money. So it's somebody I really like a lot. And so we have to figure out, okay, well, if we're going to take this over, then this is what I'm going to need, but this is what you're going to have to find. You're going to have to find free locations. You're going to have to find an inexpensive editor that I approve of. You're going to have to find all this other stuff. And it might be fun because it's an action part, and there's some cool fight scenes, and there's I
was just thinking of you doing action before, because listening to a couple of guys and everything we've worked on, and I have to see The Only Woman in the World. But it's more narrative. So as I was getting ready, again, I was thinking action.
I want to do an action movie.
Does she do action? Have you done action? Like action,
I've
jumping
done
off
horror,
of buildings.
I've done horror. I've done romance. I've done comedies, dramas.
Psychological, deep.
Have I done action?
I don't know.
I don't think I did action yet.
Not with me.
I don't know. I mean, horror, yes, but I haven't done that. But that's why I think I want to do it.
That could be cool.
And then we have to decide, do we want to do it as a short or do we want to do it as a vertical series? And I kind of want to do it as a vertical series because I haven't done it before.
Probably.
Yeah. So
that's what I would. And also, it's more likely people are going to see it.
Yeah. Well, people will see. I mean, you can actually make money on vertical series.
That's what I'm saying.
The only thing is most of them are really crappy, but I don't want to do something crappy.
Right.
So
you can make a good vertical.
Yeah. So
it happens.
And I already know a couple of people who are really good at, different kind of sports and fighting or whatever. So I know people we can choreograph to do it, and that should be interesting. And
that could be cool.
Raise money by getting people to be able to die on screen, to get shot up and blood is everywhere. So I probably will do that when we get done with a couple of guys, when we get done with the From the Embers reshoot. I know there's something else we're working on. For the life of me, I can't remember what it is. Oh, all the PR for Waitlist, because now that's coming out on platforms, and so now have a whole 5-page list of deliverables for the PR person. So we're working on that, getting the YouTube channel up, which I'm really excited. Actually, hopefully, in about a week or two, we should have all of our old shorts on the YouTube channel.
Oh, sweet.
So
Okay,
a lot of
good,
people want to
good.
see them that haven't
Yeah.
seen them, whether it's Confidant, Last Taxi Driver, Leaving. I'll think about By Blood, but
good.
By Blood was really good, though. I should put it up there. But anyway, so there's so many shorts we've done over the years, and some of the producers I worked with, I'm like, can I put that up? And I'm like, yeah, because you wanted to get it seen, want to get seen again. Thing is, once you put it up there, then your festival run is pretty much over.
Yeah.
But the festival run has been over for 10 years
Right,
already.
so-
Getting all the trailers up there and whatnot. So, and John was busy cutting clips. Besides the trailer, he was busy cutting clips from Waitlist to put on there, so people who subscribe can see the extra
That's good.
footage and stuff like that.
I liked Waitlist a lot, though.
Yeah.
Not just because I'm kind of in it, but Beck was great. Travis was great. It was fun to watch. It was just like something I'd watch at the end of the night, relax, chill, nothing crazy.
That's exactly
You want
what's
to know
supposed
what
to be.
happens. You're hooked in.
It's
Yeah.
a very
Makes
light,
you think.
romantic, fun movie. I mean, the way
I
I
like
see it is it's a nice guilty pleasure. It's the
Exactly.
kind of
Like
movie,
light
John's out of
funny.
town doing whatever John's doing. I just want to sit down and relax and just watch a nice movie that's going to make me smile with a great
Right.
soundtrack. And
I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
I'd watch it again tonight. Take an edible, eat my end of the day food, watch Waitlist. Why not?
yeah.
I forgot the ending, full disclosure, because I was
good.
trying to remember the ending, and
You have to watch it again.
I
Watch it again.
forgot. Do they end up together or not?
I'm
I
not
forgot.
telling you.
I know Julia is my favorite, maybe my favorite character. I know she's a small character,
yeah.
but she plays like a dumb blonde.
Yes. Chrissy.
Everyone was great, but I love the the silliness. She was really adorable.
And she worked with Loring Murtha, who is one of the funniest people I've ever worked with. He
Hmm.
is freaking hilarious as Jeff Chase. But yeah, the scene you're talking about is they're in a bar, and he is Lisa, played by Beck Fordyce.
Mm-hmm.
It's his ex-wife. So he happens to be in a bar with his very, very young girlfriend.
Yes.
And he spots Lisa, Beck's boyfriend, at the other end of the bar. So he sees him talking to a woman, so he's going to take a picture of it. So he pulls his camera out, and Chrissy, played by Julia, thinks that he's taking a selfie of it. So she goes like this, and he basically turns her face around to
it was
get
fun.
a picture.
Yeah, she was great.
But that's the first time I worked with her.
Right.
Yeah.
I figured, because she plays a totally different type of character in From the Embers. She's more serious. She's so emotional. She's definitely not a ditzy, bubbly. I
Right.
mean, she's little bubbles in there.
Yeah.
But the bubbles were squashed because she has to deal with this,
She
this
ends up
difficult guy.
Codependent relationship
Yeah.
that she refuses
Nightmare.
to see, even though she's smart enough to know it.
Yeah,
So it's a very nuanced role for her in From the Embers. But
Great job.
we also worked with her in Silent Harmony, where she played the executive assistant to this very famous musician who's been injured.
Yeah.
And she did a kick. I can say
haven't
kick
seen
ass.
that.
I can curse.
That was at a film festival.
Oh.
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. That's going to be it's going to be screening at the Garden State Film Festival this coming weekend,
Yeah, I gotta
and
see
then it's also going to be screening at the Shorts and Stout Film Festival in Long Beach, which
Yeah.
was originally the Point Lookout Film Festival. So that's April 1st. So if you're around, we're going to be
Long
screening
Beach.
Brimstone.
Huh, great.
Brimstone and Silent Harmony and Assassin are all going to be screening at the Short and Stout Film Festival on April 1st.
April 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're excited
see
about
it
that. It's a
finally.
new venue for them, so we'll see how it is.
And
But
it's a silent film. Is it totally silent? Silent Harmony?
it is, except for Michael Fideli's in it, and,
Oh, yeah,
and
okay.
Julia, and they have Julia
bit.
Weiner, and they have a little conversation in the
Right,
beginning,
right.
and then pretty much that's it.
Okay.
So it's the whole all these things happening, all this healing happening from two people who
Yeah.
never speak to each other.
See, that I'd love to see in a film festival and see the response.
Yes.
On like a silent
It
film,
did really
you
well
know?
in a couple of film festivals. It played in
great.
it did really well.
Oh, nice.
So I think Austin, it played in Austin Revolution, and they loved it. Oh my God, they loved it there. And then it played, I think, at Venus. I think it played at Venus, and it won there. So Garden State, it's not always easy to get in there, so it's kind of cool that it'll be screening there.
I don't know if you could say, so stop me, but it's sort of that the Silent Harmony was sort of written based on the actual actor's like health situation.
It was
shoulder,
it was something that
some
the
health
lead had
problems.
gone through that she had gotten past, and then I wanted to bring in things that Travis had gone through because he
Right.
had 2 hip surgeries. He
Right.
was a jiu-jitsu champion.
Yeah.
And he just really wasn't able to do anything for a while. So we kind of brought that into his character. So they both would have had these things that they were working through.
Exactly.
And they worked them through together all through the lead character's music and a chess game. Which So to do that, I didn't know how it was going to be received. I think it would be the kind of film that a festival would either love or hate. I didn't know.
Exactly.
And Linda Collins is the producer on that. She's actually going to come in a few weeks. So,
cool.
So that'll be cool. I
that
love
was
collaborating
cool
with her.
because both characters kind of went through similar situations of what they're acting out, and for me, I've played some characters I have a lot in common with, and it's kind of cool if you have a positive issue or something that's kind of traumatic, and to kind of work that out on film, and you can relate to and kind of play yourself partially. I don't know. It's kind of, I thought it was pretty cool and meaningful. There's some meaning. It's not just like they're playing these random characters and playing charades and putting a chess piece here. It's like, no, they've both, Travis had 2 hips replaced, so that's a big deal.
Yeah,
and
especially
the
young.
trauma that goes with that.
Yeah,
it's a lot to deal with,
and it's something he was dealing with for a long time. I think he had his first hip surgeries. He was he in high school or right out of high school? He was very young. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then, again, he had to have both of them done. But, and, that's not easy when you're a sports guy, when you're an athlete. That's very difficult.
I don't know. I was put to sleep once, a couple of days before I saw you. And my biggest thing is having a few teeth pulled, which people do without being put to sleep. So I don't know anything about hip replacement, and I can only imagine how traumatic it would be. Okay, yeah. I can't even, not get a blood test without crying.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
So, no. I'm a baby.
I've gotten better with that over the years, but I don't like. To this day, if I have to give blood at the doctor's, I don't look. I can't look.
No.
Yeah,
I got stabbed one time.
I look the other way and breathe. I can deep breathe. I can get through this. Doesn't really hurt that much.
Hope that they're not mad about life, because there's a few that are mad, and they've told me they take it out on their patients. Yeah, one recently told me that.
I haven't had that happen.
So I'm extra scared, Yeah.
I just remember having a test once, and they had to give me anesthesia, and the way they put it in my hand, I'm like, my arm's supposed to be numb, and they're like, no, and then they had to redo the thing. But it's like, because my whole arm's kind of numb right now. But usually it's not that bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's a good thing you spoke up. See.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if this is right. Oh yeah, not that I have a strong resistance to pain per se, but also. When I had my daughter, I was in labor for like 27 hours, and they decided to give me a C-section, but they started before the anesthesia started working.
Oh, what?
And I just remember going, excuse me, is this supposed to hurt? And I'm like, no. And they're like, it does. And they're like, oh, it can't stop now. Yeah, that was kind of... Yeah, that was kind of horrible.
That's a horror movie.
I know.
You could put that in a horror movie scene. I mean, that's really gruesome.
Yeah.
But...
I would stay away from childbirth.
I wouldn't. I don't know. It's not something I want to do.
I think I told you about the movie we want to do, Franklin. It's probably the working title. It's going to be based on the character in Brimstone.
Mm-hmm, the dad. The evil dad-ish.
Yeah. So we started writing that, but we have to put it aside because we got to finish the movies we're on now and get Yuletide out there and start raising money for that, our Christmas movie that I'm pretty excited about. We figure that's going to probably be 2027, though. That means a lot of prep. But so after that, then we'll do the horror movie.
Okay.
So we just do everything. I mean, if I like the script and I like the people, and I can do it, then it's something I want to do. But I think action's next once we get these 3 put away, but we'll see.
Well, just hope that he doesn't do method acting, which I like to do. I like to become the character and live as the character. So I have to play like a Harley Quinn, Roxy Hart. I already knew that. I'm like, he doesn't do that. But God forbid he did. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to have to live with an evil dad for like
No, he already is evil. That's okay. We know. Look at that smirk. That's why he does Franklin so well, because it's just John. He has this way of just his eyes just convey everything. He doesn't have to say anything. But he's got a few roles of his own lined up, so that's kind of cool for some other companies and stuff. So that's a new trade that Mr. Marine has. So I'm
all scary roles.
No, one he's a psychotherapist.
A psychotherapist. Oh,
a marriage counselor.
Okay, yeah.
One John's a marriage counselor, and then he's a. You're not a cyborg, but...
Cyborg, wow.
No, I'm an AI created...
Oh, he's an AI created being.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Okay.
And then he's got a maggot. I don't want to say the name here, but...
then I'm a sexual predator.
A sexual predator.
Oh. And who are your prey?
the woman who's trying to get into the hospital emergency room. She's all beaten up.
Okay.
Figure I can take advantage of her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Oh wow, that's pretty scary.
So he's got a lot of interesting roles coming up. But
Yeah.
he does horror so well because Franklin is such a great character. He's won so many awards for that, and I try and think of things I can write for him that are as good as that, because you can be the best actor in the world, but if the role isn't very deep,
Yeah.
there's not really much you can. They might give you an award because of your name, but. If it's a simplistic role, it's not something you can win for. But we first submitted to the Golden Door Film Festival, Golden Door International Film Festival of New Jersey, and he was nominated, and nominated a couple of professional actors we know, and a couple of name actors, as a matter of fact. One of them who was even there, and like when he won, I just like and they all looked at me. I'm like, sorry,
Yeah, why
but I
not?
was so excited.
Yeah, you gotta be excited. Well, you should be. Why not?
Yeah.
Transformers. That's what I was thinking when I was getting ready. That I've never seen you do anything like Transformers, which I'm sorry. I hated Transformers. I hate it. I was so bored. Because all it is, there's no psychological anything. There's no depth. For me, there's no storyline. It's just a bunch of things moving around. Whereas the opposite of so what would you do? Like how much money would you have to get to just direct a bunch of water bottles moving around? That's essentially what it is.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way: if somebody gave me a crap load of money, I would do it.
You would do it.
and
How
then I
much? What's your minimum number you
I
would
don't
shoot?
know.
Water bottles moving around. Almost no dialogue.
If I didn't have to put my name on it,
Yeah. No, you have to put your name on it.
I can give you a name. It depends what I'm doing. Meanwhile, I do have a superhero movie in mind
That I can say.
that I have to write.
Okay.
But that's just gotta wait because it's a while. But my character is a female. Basically, her tagline is a chick who have had enough.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so I already have the prototype, the picture drawn. A friend of mine used to be an animator for DC Comics.
Yeah.
And so I told him the specs I wanted for her, and he drew her out. And I just haven't had time to do anything with that. But that keeps coming up lately.
I think that would be fun.
I know.
You would do that well because I feel like you would have a totally different output and creation style of a superhero than anything I've seen. I haven't seen too much superhero stuff, sorry. But I play as superheroes. I just did a comic book cover, and I play the star of a comic book, so I understand that world. But I feel like you entering that comic world would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I could see her as in a graphic novel, but also as a movie. But of course, I don't have the kind of movie to do a really huge Avengers kind of thing. But
No, it doesn't have to be.
But I could do it as an independent, short, like proof of concept thing, because that could be really fun. But that's got to wait
types of superheroes.
till after the horror, after the Christmas, after we finish these three, after it's just only so much time.
I bet you'd have fun with it. Because like
we would.
There's a guy who created celebrity deathmatch characters, and he has a book, I think it's called Spontanea. So basically, like when something happens, she just appears. So it does. Not everything has to be big and high budget. Some things are super sci-fi, like the one I'm in. There's aliens, and if it was a real movie, it would take millions, billions of dollars. But there's a lot of comic book creatures that just are walking down the street and living normal lives, or they're have a family and. It doesn't have to be that big. So you could do doesn't have to be like a jumping out of airplanes superhero.
Yeah, that's a few things. John came up with an idea once too that I love. But I don't know if that would be this character or if I would combine them or not. But he sort of took this psyche. Of course, we're giving all our ideas away. He sort of took the psyche of this one woman who in herself is just really, really tough. But her the parts of her personality come in as all these other people behind her. Like, who do I need to call in now? And this part of her personality comes in.
That.
So those are. I would definitely love to get to all that stuff. But I think one of my goals right now is to stick to the things we're doing,
right,
and to knock them off one by one. Like almost all our deliverables are ready for the PR person, for waitlist. Still a lot of work to be done, but at least that will be manageable because that big chunk is there.
Yeah.
The YouTube channel is stocked the way she wants it. That chunk is there.
Okay.
Yuletide, we've changed it to Yuletide from Tides. The pitch deck is done and it's gorgeous, so that's there.
Nice.
Then the next thing has to be the business plan, but I can't do that until we get done filming A Couple of Guys, and From the Embers reshoot. So it's kind of trying to focus on the things that are here, and then once we finish with the Brimstone reshoot, now Jack Kelly had edited From the Embers.
Oh,
I keep saying
nice.
Brimstone, which is what the feature was
same
called.
thing. Yeah.
He edited it, and now it's going to the finishing editor who's going to color
cool.
it. But we just decided we wanted to reshoot these two scenes because I
Right.
think it's too good to not have that redone. So
He
we're
did a
gonna do
great
that.
job. He did a great job on a shoot where I was acting recently. He was sweating and running around and carrying the camera and following me. I play a lunatic.
Yeah.
I told a bunch of people, I was like, wow, that Jack Kelly
Jack is
sure is
amazing.
something.
Yeah, he's he's definitely one of our guys. He started so Jack, if you're listening, which you're probably not because you're probably working, but he started as a PA. We were on The Better Man, and Michael Fideli, who was the lead in that, he said, "Hey, you know, my boss's son is a really good kid. Can he come on set?" And I'm like, I don't like people who I don't know if they know what they're doing to come on set. But he came on set. He was great. We brought him on the next film as well. And he just really impressed me. And I know this is going to sound stupid, but, you know, you have to think outside the box. And he, we're cleaning up for the night we were on the Prof. I think that was a 4 or 5 day shoot. And we're cleaning up, and I find this cooler with all this stuff in it. I go, what is this? And I realized what he had done is, out of his own money, which we ended up paying him back, he went and got every kind of creamer and milk anybody might want. So if, you know, we had a couple of boxes of Cup of Joe that they would have, whatever. That takes thinking not to tell
I do
somebody
that. I just did that for the film at my
I
house,
know
which I
you-
basically collapsed, and I'm finally alive now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had decaf coffee, regular coffee, iced coffee, another thing, iced coffee, different types of creamers. You know, the bullshit dangerous creamer, the healthy creamer. I don't know if you're a health nut, if you're someone who wants a cancer cup of coffee. I don't know, but we have something for everyone. But yeah,
And then he's moved up from that, he was a PA to we made him a second AD. No, maybe a second AD. I think a second AD. And then we moved him up to a grip, and now basically he's our key grip. And sometimes he's our gaffer, and sometimes because everything he does really well.
Those are levels up from coffee preparedness.
Yes,
levels.
But it's all a matter of
That's
thinking,
cool.
thinking ahead, and
Right.
if we need something, like when we did Silent Harmony, we didn't really want to pay a sound person because there's one scene that has sound. So why pay somebody all day for an hour and a half filming? So we asked him if he would do sound. He goes, yeah, all right. So he not only gaffed, but he also did
that's
sound.
one thing you're really good at. So it makes sense that you did the casting directing stuff, which I didn't know you then, because you saw with me, it took you like about a year, and you saw with Jack Kelly, you can see what people can do. And that's a skill that thank God you have.
You just have to be observant. I mean, we used to have we had a lot of classes at our house for a while. A few years ago, I think we had an AD class, we had a scripty class, editing, Red Komodo, editing on the Red Komodo, footage, and we had a lot of different things. And Jack came to every single class, and he was living in the city at the time. He came after every single class, soaked up everything, asked every question there was to ask, and that's how we got Zach more involved too. Zach Walker he came too, every single one. Every question, when we did From the Embers, because we had to shoot it out of sequence because of the locations.
Right.
It's like, Zach, what time of year is it? Okay, so it's May 27th, and then
on top of stuff.
Yeah.
Also, got to give him a shout out.
Yeah,
he's in the Airwaves film. He's in the Airwaves film that I'm in. Yes, he's my favorite part. I've told many people this. I'm the star of it. Okay, it's like it's on me. It's like 40 pages. He's on maybe 2 or 3 pages. I think he's my favorite. Sorry, Dino Castelli, but
I don't usually watch
he's at the
films,
very
but...
end, and I kind of kill him. I get possessed. I'll just give it away. I get a little possessed, and my possession character kills him, and he's phenomenal.
Wow.
Phenomenal. But his favorite line is, "I feel like my insides are being squeezed." and yes, see, I laughed just like you, because the director. Dylan Gerbich showed it to me, and I laughed, and I laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed, and I took videos of it, and I laughed and laughed, and because I laughed, it was taken out of the film, which I'm so pissed about, but the guy doesn't want it to be funny. But the thing is, I'm like, I laugh at everything. It might not have been funny, like the audience might not laugh, but the way he did it was just funny. It's just a funny line. So the favorite line of the entire movie was Zach Walker, and he's my favorite character in the movie, and he's the best, and he was awesome.
So now I have to watch that. I don't.
He's awesome. So good.
So the Long Island International Film Expo is accepting submissions until March
Soon.
30th, I think, is the last day, or
Oh,
April
wow.
1st. I'm not sure. But anyway, I don't usually watch the films, but I'm going to
Okay.
watch that just
Or
because.
just fast forward to the end, because you're gonna get really disturbed and you're gonna get really annoyed. And I was acting with just nothing. Like if you see me talking to anyone in the entire film, I'm not. I'm looking at a computer screen. So like it's going to be very interesting for the viewer. I'm sure if I had someone real talking to me, because I have radio callers, but there was no radio callers when I was shooting. It was just someone talking, saying the lines monotone. They weren't really even acting them out for the most part. So I'm just acting with a wall, basically. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that's perceived.
Have you seen it yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I saw it once with my dad. My dad was freaked out for days, and and I was like, do you see how I felt for a year? It's so disturbing. And then I saw it high at 4 a.m, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of hooked in, and I ended up watching the whole thing by myself on my phone at 4 a.m. Again, I took edibles, so I'm on drugs technically, but I don't know. I was kind of interested. Yeah, I was like, okay, there's some moments in this. Yeah, there's a lot of it I liked, actually.
Cool.
Yeah, but I usually like funny stuff.
I'll have to see that. So Jennifer Elise Feldman, who
Thank you
does
for having me.
everything, who is an actor, who is a makeup artist, who is an FX artist, who does some production design and wardrobe and pretty much everything. You even have a radio show.
Yeah, oh yeah, right.
And what is that called?
That is called, it came from the radio. And I'm kind of the outsider voice that doesn't understand the comic book world, and I make inappropriate comments, and Mark Torres puts up with me.
Cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's kind of cool. So
fun.
Jennifer does everything,
Fun.
and that's always cool. She's very multifaceted. But how can people find you if they want to hire you?
You could find me, honestly, my email. I really just check phone and email, but of course you can check IMDb, Jen Elise Feldy. You go on Facebook, Jennifer Elise Feldman. I don't check social media messengers, I'm sorry, but the email would be the best. So if you can get this, jfeldy.be.healthy@gmail.com. Email, text, that's pretty much all I check these days. So good luck finding me, I guess.
Now on my website, Intention Films and Media, if you go down to the podcast page, you actually will have that information there.
Okay,
So you can reach out to her that way. This has been wonderful. We're going to be on set in a couple of weeks again.
I'm studying.
Yeah. You're going to do very well. I'm
hope
very
so.
excited.
I
And you're
hope
going to meet
so.
some amazing people on
I'm
this crew
nervous.
who you haven't met before, who are really, really...
I'm a nervous wreck.
Yeah, don't be a nervous wreck. You're going to be wonderful. So anyway, I want to thank our guest, Jennifer
Thank you.
Elise Feldman,
Thank
sometimes Jen Feldy. It depends.
Sometimes, oh man, Success Network is coming out. Sometimes I'm, oh man, you'll see. You haven't seen that guy yet.
Yeah,
But
no.
today, just Jennifer Elise Feldman.
Okay. So we want to thank Governors for allowing us to be here, Jen for being my guest for the
Thank
day.
you.
I want to
It was a
thank
pleasure.
the listeners or the watchers for doing this, because it's kind of cool. I'm just
Yeah.
here talking to my friends and you're here
job.
listening in. So thank you for all of that. Watch Waitlist, a Love Your
Yes.
Story, and rate
It's
it
fun.
on IMDb and on Prime Video, and allow us to keep doing this kind of stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thank you. Yeah, it was great.